Hey folks, as usual, back in the garage. It's that time of year where you start looking at getting your bike on the road. Pardon me for the rain if you can hear it pitter-pattering on the roof. That time of year where you start looking at getting your bike on the road if you've put it into hibernation over the winter, which I do. I'm no longer an all year round biker. So, tyres. The 1290 now needs a new set of tyres. They've just become so expensive. I contacted several places over the past few days, and I've gone for the S22s that's already on there. And the cheapest place I could find, and they were the only ones that had stock, was Wheelhouse Tyres in Coleshill, which I've been going there for years. A pair of Bridgestone Battle Axe S22s, ride in, ride out, £399. Man, that's mad. So to try and help bring the price down a little bit, I'm going to take the wheels off myself. Never took the wheels off on the KTM. On other bikes I have, but never on the KTM, so I'm a complete virgin to removing the wheels on here. Front wheel seems pretty standard. The rear wheel hopefully is going to be easier, but it's got that big nut to undo. So these are the tools that I think we're going to need. So we've got a couple of ratchets. We're going to have a H12, sort of like Allen key style thing. That's to remove the spindle cover, front spindle cover. Then we've got a Torx 40. That's for the pinch bolts on the front wheel. Then we've got a Torx 45. That's for the calipers. Because apparently, and I've been reading the manual, you've got to take the calipers off, or it makes it easier to take the calipers off. Also, the pinch bolts are either a Torx 40 or a 10mm, so whichever's easiest. Electric ratchet gun, a little noisy, but it does the trick. And then there's these. This is the only sort of like specialist tool you're going to need. It says for a KTM rear nut. I've recently bought this. I'm not sponsored or doing anything, deal with laser or anything, but they seem to be the ones to get it from. I'm not too sure if it says a 55 or a 60mm socket, basically. I think it's a 60. And then torque wrench. Now the rear wheel has to be torqued up to 250 Newton meters. That's only going up to 200, so I need to borrow one from work that's going to reach 250, but that'll do for the time being. And that's about it. Let's get on with it. Okay, we're going to start off by taking the calipers off. So let's crack these off. There we go. Okay, so I'll just check the pads actually while I'm there. They look okay. So I'll just hang this caliper up. Okay, so that's the other caliper off as well. I didn't bother filming that because it's just exactly the same as what you've seen. Next is the spindle cover, but also actually the pinch bolts. Let's undo those pinch bolts first, I think. Probably can't see them very well. There they are. 2 pinch bolts either side of the forks. This is what I could do with a ramp or a lift. Like one of those sky lifts. ABBA sky lift, is it? Right, it says take this out about 6 turns so you can push it through. So I'm going to take it out completely. Now supposedly, you're meant to do that. It's not freely coming out, so let's see. A long socket. That got it. Right, that spindle was a little bit tricky to get out, but what I can see, if you can see in there, where my paddock stand goes up, just protrudes a little bit in there. So I may have to file them down. Okay, now the rear, it has 2 retaining clips, one inside here and one on the outer edge. So these just pop out, he says. There you go. There's a clip that just slips inside the axle spindle. Well, this is where I failed. I didn't have a big enough breaker bar. I didn't have a big enough scaffold to put on that breaker bar. I just had the torque wrench, which was nowhere near enough to take off that rear nut. I had to put the wheels back on and ride to the dealers. So I ended up doing a ride in, ride out. Here it is. Unfortunately, the bike beat me, or more like the torques on that rear nut beat me. What the hell? Well, that's one hell of a back protector. It beat me. I couldn't get it undone. I didn't potentially have the right gear. I probably need a 3-foot breaker bar with a 3-foot scaffold pole on the end of it. So I'm having to take the bike in, which I'd originally planned on doing anyway. So we're off to Wheelhouse Tyres, ride in, ride out to get some new S22s. What I will do as well is test out the Oberon, the clutch slave, because since fitting it I've not ridden the bike. As you've seen in the last video, if you did see, of me putting it on, all I did was start it up, put it into gear in the garage. I've not actually rode with it on. So we'll have a little review of it. What I can tell you is, even the bike's cold, that I can feel a pulsation in the clutch, but only when you pull it halfway. Fully in you can't feel anything, but then sort of halfway in you can feel a pulsing. I don't know if that's because it's normal or because the clutch is dry. This bike has not been on the road since last year. As I said, I'm now a fair weather rider. Yeah, to an extent. I'm no longer a real biker anymore. Let's get these grips working. I can't take to wearing winter gloves. I don't know, it's probably I'm just not used to wearing thick gloves. So I'd rather wear summer ones and get the heated grips on the go. Well, I've only covered a couple of miles, so far so good with the slave cylinder. Probably tempting fate there. It all seems good, apart from these tyres. They've definitely seen better days. So as I said, this is going to be a bit of a boring journey, so I'll catch you when I get closer. Well, that's the motorway out the way with. I should have been filming on there. The amount of people, because that part of the M6 is 4 lanes, the amount of people that just sit in lanes 2, 3 and 4 is ridiculous. I pretty much stayed in lane 1 all the way through. And I know people are going to say, but you're undertaking. I'm not using the lane to gain whatever you want to call it, to make progress or whatever. So here we are, there's Biker's World. I'm behind it. Wheelhouse Tyres. Been coming to these guys for years. So let's see if they'll let me film here as well. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Okay, well, as expected, the manager said that they're a bit camera shy, so wouldn't let me film it. Well, that's what I expected, to be honest. Had the same thing on the service. Let's get my phone out. So all seems good. Made light work of taking that rear nut off. Better than what I did. Okay, let's take it easy on the way home. It's been a while since I've rode this. As some of you may have seen, the last time I rode a bike was Hawaii, which was that little Benelli, and then the BMW and the Ducati in LA. So for whatever reason, what most of you will know, it's the S22's standard fixture, standard fitting on these, the 200 rear, and for some reason they seem to be like rocking horse doo-doo, with probably 5 different places, and Wheelhouse were the only ones that had stock. The other places had the 190 rear, but not the 200. And also they said they'd been waiting several months for them, and I had stock last week. He wasn't gonna nod, was he? He's all kitted up. Fair play to him. Well, let's have a look. Guy took the exhaust off as well. I don't know why he had to take the exhaust off. I would have thought that wheel would have come out without the exhaust. But anyway, all good. No damage to the rims. I was a little bit worried whether these stickers, decals would come off or would they scratch the rims. But I've been to Wheelhouse before. There's a little mark on there. I think that might have been there beforehand, actually. Been to Wheelhouse before many times. They're the only reasonable place around Coventry, to be honest, that I believe anyway. So the whole thing's getting on for 3 years old now. So not high mileage compared to other people. I know you probably moan, hey, just a summer rider and this, but don't forget all of last year I had the Husky, and I rode the Husky more than this last year. So the clutch is doing good. Right, let's talk in crap. It's in need of a clean. That'll be the next step. I am getting it ceramic coated. That never gets old. Yep, having it deep cleaned and ceramic coated. So I'll be recording that. Already got permission off the guy that's doing it. Well, I can see the Oberon, he's doing alright. The clutch, slave cylinder. Got no issues. And no pulsating now. Nope. Well, I'll thank you once again for watching. Please, as the usual saying goes, like and subscribe. It all helps. Subscription is getting there slowly. Slow but sure. So anyway guys, take care, ride safe.